It's the secret manifestation coach to the stars. Everybody, this is exciting. Ariya Lorenz in the house. If you don't know this, quick story about Ariya. You know, I like manifestation coaches, right? You know, you have to have the skills and the mindset in the visible world, but there's also this invisible world that I found out has had such a big influence on getting there faster and easier. So, this is a big video for anyone who wants to get their goals faster and easier at a younger age with more success, with more ease than you could ever imagine. It's not just white knuckling hard work that it takes to become successful. So, I want to tell a story about Ariya. I was in Hawaii. I don't know if it was in Molokai or a different island, but went up to meet with John and Missy Butcher, who was the founder of Lifebook that previously had like this $1 billion company called Precious Moments. I was with Vishen Lakhiani, the founder of Mind Valley, and I was with the ex-founder of Zumba, Jeffrey Perlman, and they told us about this amazing manifestation coach, told me about her, coming in hot, and Ariya comes down to sit for dinner for us. And I learned that John and Missy Butcher had been using her. Vishen had been using her. And we were all inspired by her in his story. And I decided right there, I'm going to jump on this. I'm going to work with Ariya. Ariya has a one-on-one coaching. And I was like, I'm in, I'm involved. So for the next 3 weeks, 3 months, actually, Ariya and I worked on manifesting what I was looking for, which was a huge nuclear business move because I was at the end of my kind of Mind Valley spree. I was in Molokai for my last Mind Valley VSL for Lifebook, and I was ready for the next thing. I didn't know what it was. So we would meet up once a week and tune in our energy and talk about basically just tune into the vision and feel the wish fulfilled and feel the energy. And she has a very amazing personal technique in order to help make your dreams happen faster. So we're going to get into all that in just a little second now. But Ari was the catalyst of creating this ridiculous documentary that I went to go shoot on, which was what Caitlin, my girlfriend, got involved with. This is what caused Caitlin and I to suddenly start traveling all over the world because this crazy, unbelievable opportunity to partner with this crypto company, film a documentary on them showed up. And that was the catalyst of Caitlin and I, which was this love story that was starting to bubble up to be able to go out and travel around. And I remember one time, because I had a lot of weird love things inside of me, if you remember, Ariya, where I was like a little concerned about I don't really know if this is the one. She's not the one. This is crazy. If you ever reach your twin flame, it might be a little flamey at the beginning. So I was like pivoting from best day of my life to worst day of my life. And I was like, I remember getting on a call with Aria and be like, Aria, this is never going to work out. I've never had somebody so mad at me. It's never going to work. And she's like, wait, let me tune in for a second. It's a perfect match. And I like that. That was like a pivotal moment for getting me on a wagon and give it another swing. And that was it. And took it off from there. So Ari and I have been friends. She's constantly at all the Mind Valley events with everybody else. So Aria, thanks for jumping on a quick podcast. I wanted to make this little podcast to introduce you to my audience and all the people who want to do some 5D work.
Woohoo. Thank you. Thank you, Peter. So grateful to be here. Yes. And you're an amazing man. You're an amazing manifester yourself. And to hear, your kudos, I really appreciate that. I'm really grateful for that. And it was amazing to work with you. And that's what I love. I love about this genre and this audience that we have here. You're already turned on. You're already tuned in. You're already going. You're going at a fast speed. And you're like, okay, how can I be more effective with the time I put in? How can I be more effective with my energy? And how can this be a fun journey? How can this be actually leading to happiness, right? And that's where I like to come in. I like to come in where there's already excellence, where there's already people going beyond their ceilings. And then I like to help them go beyond that ceiling so where they cannot go by themselves. And we did that together. And it was so fun to work with you.
And thank you. And when she says excellence, she's not joking around. I just spoke with one of her students who was working on this like 9-figure data center out in Malaysia. So the people who do massive things on this planet are working with Ariya in the background to help facilitate those things. Because I personally have found out that, when a magnet is facing the wrong direction and it's headed towards another magnet, it looks like you're getting closer, but as soon as you get really close, the other magnet pushes away. And that's what I found out happens if you're not spiritually aligned and you don't have the invisible forces dialed in.
Love that analogy. Love that analogy. And it's true because when you're not on your life path, when you're not on mission, everything's not going to align. It just doesn't click because we're geared to be on mission. We came here for a reason. You came here for a reason, right? And so the people who are listening, if you're listening to this, you know you came here for a reason. And if you're on target with your purpose, you know, the ocean moves. You can move mountains. You actually go through walls, metaphorically speaking, but you know, you can actually go through your own inner wall of maybe, you know, failure or unworthiness. And those things happen in the right direction so much quicker and so much more effective. But if you're going in the wrong direction, you're losing so much of your life force, of your actual lifetime. And when you're 40, you're like, wait a minute, I did all of that pushing and I'm not where I wanted to be. Well, tune in first, get into alignment with your, what I call higher self, find out what your purpose is. And I help people do that. I help people find out what their purpose is and then move out of the way, the obstacles. And that's the fun part, not the moving away, but what comes afterwards. You know, I remember when you came to me, can I share that story about Caitlin?
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So when you came to me, when Peter came, he said, here's what I want to do. I want to meet the love of my life, my soulmate, and I want to create an epic love affair that lasts a lifetime. And I want to, you know, scale my business and make millions. You gave me a number, what you wanted. And that's what I'm here for. And I'm like, woohoo, I love this. You know, he knows what he wants and he already puts it out there. So then we can look at, okay, what's in the way? And we can be very specific. And we were very specific and literally moved out of the way what was hindering you from meeting your soulmate and scaling. And you took it on, and within weeks, you met her, right?
100%. Yeah, 100%. Met her and got the business deal at the same time. It all happened very effortlessly. I was sleeping on my friend's couch in Mallorca during the time. It was incredible.
That's so awesome. Yeah, but it takes a person to implement that. It takes already momentum, and it takes, you know, that perseverance and that discipline, yeah? And you brought that to the table. And so I always call in people to work with that are having already a higher vision, that are already working at a high level, and that find that there's more to them that they can live right now, and they just can't get there, you know?
Yeah.
And we'll go there together. So I love that.
Yeah. I'd love to get your opinion on the idea of karma for a second. Do you think,
Yeah.
you know, everybody knows that like bad karma, good karma, you do bad things, you get bad things happen to you, do good things, you get good things happen to you. I think a lot of, you know, I definitely have an audience that neglects the thought of the bad karma that comes from the actions they take, because maybe they cut corners or they don't do positive white hat marketing, we call in our space. And, or even like what you said, when you're off your purpose, you do feel this like kind of deadness, slow deadness inside. And that's almost a bad signal. You know, bad energy, I think, is also bad karma. What do you feel about the karma space?
Yeah. You know, I personally don't like the word karma so much, but what I really like to talk about is the energy you're creating. Anytime you do something, right? Yeah. So
Yes.
we can call it karma because karma is now becoming a newer word again, and so we can use it. But you know what happens is we create energy, right? We create ripples. It's as if we're putting a rock into the lake, and all of a sudden you have all these ripples, and other people put their rocks, and other people put their rocks, so you create a pattern. Well, you want to go for the harmonious pattern. You want to go for a pattern that not only looks beautiful, but it is beautiful in all levels, on all levels and in all manners. Why? Because it's not only for the beauty. Everything is created in harmony. And when you're in harmony, you're literally healthy, you're wealthy, you're happy. That's all our harmonious vibration. If you're despaired and struggling and resentful, it's a disharmonious vibration. You can actually measure it. And so here's the thing. If you are creating something that is creating disharmony in yourself or in others, you're creating these ripples that are not working well for you, but also not for others. And then it's chaos. And all of a sudden, everything collapses and you wonder, why did it not work well? Well, that's then what, you know, is called the karma. You have to work on your karma. But, you know, what if you looked at it just simply as energy and you said, instead of creating a lot of karma or bad energy, I'm going to look what's aligned for me in this moment and what's aligned along the way into my future. And then I'm going to create aligned action. And if you know how to do that, you're actually always going to create aligned action that's good for others too. You're always going to create win-win-win solutions, because only win-win-win will get a harmonious reaction. But the ripple that comes back to you, I want to quickly mention that. When you
Yeah.
ripple something out in that lake, it's not only going out. It actually comes back. Have you watched that? How actually these ripples come back? And
Yeah.
it comes back exactly in the same pattern you put it out. So it's a physical law. It's literally a physical law. And if you know how to deal with energy and align yourself with the energy, and that's called energy mastery. If you master your energy, you can master everything you do, because you're putting the right energy in at the right time, in the right way, and you're getting the right ripples back.
Amen to that. That's actually, I would just like all my viewers to know, I prioritize energy before anything that I do. Sounds weird, but the emotion of positivity and gratitude, I listen to these awesome AI songs that have my dreams programmed into them with the AI created. I also do these like Joe Dispenza meditations, which help work with me. But the cool thing about, same like I have a gym coach where I go to the gym and I work out and he makes sure that I do the correct exercises. He's there with me and I can't mess it up, is the same reason that I hired Ari. It's just that we would meet up once a week and we would work on the energy together for this specific situation. So I didn't have to have the discipline to do it. I just had a call. I just opened the call, which was super cool. But I want to ask you this question, just for like I guess the newer people out here. How is it possible that my energy or my emotions could have anything to do with my reality? Right? It's just like 3D. I got five senses. Why would that even matter how I feel?
Yeah, exactly. I asked myself the same question. I actually started with this totally physical, only believing in the physical reality. I'm like, what does this even matter? And I actually did some experiments and I decided I'm going to just think negative and believe negative, and I'm going to try out everything negative, assuming that the world is a negative place. And I did that for months. And I literally lost all my friends. I lost every happiness. I was just laying on the ground, wondering why I was depressed. I couldn't even lift my arm anymore. Didn't have enough energy. Until my last friend came to me and she said, I can't come visit you anymore. I'm really sorry. I'm not going to come see you because I can't handle this negativity. And I'm like, yeah, see, this is all bad. And look, now you're leaving. Everything doesn't work. And out the door she was, because I was literally embodying that. And then I decided, okay, let me switch this. And this depression that I'm just talking about wasn't a conscious decision, but it came out of lots of negative events. And I made the conscious decision that I was going to not be happy anymore, right? So that was the conscious part. But now I decided, well, if I made that conscious decision that I'm going to be in the negativity, I'm going to try it, even though I feel miserable and I don't believe in anything positive. I'm going to try being positive and see what happens. And I switched it and I literally said, okay, everything's working for my good. I love this, life is awesome, which I was feeling so wrecked. Oh my God. And I'm like, life is awesome. We do this. This was just for my experiment. I wanted a physical experiment. And I'm telling you, everything started to work. I actually met my boyfriend, my friends came back. I started to feel better. And so after a few months, I was asking myself, should I go back to the other one, or what's now true? Is this positive reality true or the negative reality? And I realized, I don't know. I don't know what reality is true, but I know that this feels so much better and this feels worse. So I'm just going to go with that. And so I did that. And then I found out about energy. I started to learn my higher self, how to access my higher self, which is what I help people do now. And once I started talking with my higher self, I realized this is all about energy. This is energy. These are energy laws. See how when I drop this, what's that law called?
Gravity.
Gravity. Does gravity work always, or does it only work at times?
Every time. Every time.
Every time. And it doesn't matter if you're a good person, bad person, it doesn't matter your background, it always falls. You let it go, it falls. But you need to know to let it go, right? If you're holding it like, how is this law of gravity working? It's not working. Well, you need to know, you need to let go, right? Now, if you know how energy works, then you're always going to use it in your favor. And here's how that goes. you're sending out a vibration. Yeah, you're an electromagnetic field. Yeah, so you have electric energy and magnetic energy. The electric energy pushes the energy out and opens doors. The magnetic energy brings to you what you opened up when you opened the door, right?
Yes.
So you
Yes.
need to have an electric energy to make a wish and to decide what you want. And then you need to relax enough and visually feel like you already have it so that what's in that door comes to you. And there are specific ways of doing that. So your energy field actually lives on that, vibrates on that. And when you know how to do that, then you're finding that reality responds to you. Now, why is that relevant to your question? You asked, okay, how do I know that I create reality? Well, if you are putting an energy out and your energy, electric energy, is put out via intention and attention. Okay? So if I place my attention and an intention in a certain direction, I'm sending out electric energy. Now I'm targeting something. I basically put my hook on it, right? If I don't pull it in, it doesn't come to me. But
Mhm.
if I pull it into me, then with my magnetic energy, it comes to me. And you can literally try this out. This is just like if I'm explaining to you there's electricity. You have to try out by turning on the switch and turning it off to see if actually a light bulb turns on, right? And so that is a law, that law of electromagnetic resonance, of that response and of that action and response is a law, just like the law of gravity, and you just need to know how to use it. Did I answer
Amen
your
to
question?
that. No, amen to that. Yeah, for sure. I remember when I first got into this. By the way, the last thing, well, I love this so much. The last thing I learned before my life took off was that my words and my thoughts and my emotions create reality. At my hardest rock bottom moment through the Conversation God book. That was the core idea, right? And I remember a long time ago, though, learning about law of attraction stuff. And I saw this video of a guy who was like, here's a quick experiment. And I just want to share that. It was just like, think of somebody you haven't thought of, you haven't talked to in the last 5 years, an old friend that you haven't spoken with. And it was just like, here's an easy manifestation trick to build your belief system up that you can do this. And it was just think about that, close your eyes, relax, imagine you're talking to them, imagine you're so excited to hear their voice. Just imagine that phone call where you're really feeling it and it just be so grateful and just walk out of that conversation just like super happy. And just see if someone calls you in the next like 3 days. And I would do this. And I had literally had people I have not spoken with in 5 years call me. And it was out of nowhere. I was like, oh, look, they just called me. It was kind of interesting. And I'm like, wait, didn't I do that thing a few days ago? There's that weird thing where you have to proactively realize that you actually did that energy blast a while ago, which
That's
is crazy.
awesome. Totally. I love
That's,
that. I
that
did
was
that when
cool.
I was, yeah, I love that because it really helps you understand how this works. You know, I remember when I was 16 and I wanted to meet my then boyfriend, and I literally took the train 3 hours away from my town, and they were at a party, at a huge party at the Lake of Constance with 300,000 people. And I'm like, I'm going to just find him. There were no cell phones at the time. And I was just visualizing running into him. I saw him in front of me. I saw him in front of me. I saw him in front of me. I had this elevation. This is going to work. So I set my intention first, of course, right? This now I'm on the road. But now I'm in the phase of allowing it as I'm thinking of him. And within 10 minutes, I walked into him in the middle of the crowd. I walked straight into the crowd, didn't go around, straight into the crowd, just followed my intuition and found him, you know? Oh, that's, how I moved to Hawaii. I had $500 and got the message I need to move to Hawaii. I brought my horse. I got a multi-million dollar house, found my partner here just by deciding I'm going to pack my bag and I'm going to set the intention and I'm going to put my focus on I'm moving to Hawaii into a life of my dreams. And step by step, it was unfolding in front of me. I could have never orchestrated that. I mean, finding a house in Hawaii on the ocean that has a 180 ocean view with 3 bedrooms and a studio for $250. Where do you find that? It's impossible. in your mind. But, that's all I had to give, $250. Actually, I had 350 and I got it for 250.
That's
It's
beautiful.
possible. Yeah.
So, what do you think are some of the techniques somebody could follow if they wanted to start practicing this at home? Let's say they want to double the most amount of money they've ever made in a month, because my audience loves that kind of stuff and they love those ideas. Where do I go
It's
from here?
beautiful. Yeah. So just manifesting money, I don't recommend, because as I said, you can manifest a ton of money, but if it doesn't bring you happiness or the freedom you want, it's really no use of your time. So you want to find out, who am I and why do I want that? Your why is
Yeah.
super important. You know that already. I know, Peter, you're all about that, and I so honor you for all the stuff you do. I mean, I trust what you do because you're so tuned in. And so, talking about being tuned in, find out why you want it. And then you're going to say, I want this. And you focus on what you want, not on the money. You don't focus on, oh, I want, like I had a client, for example, she was making $1 million a year in her business as a headhunter, and she loved her business. And then she said, you know what? I'd really like to make 10x that, right? Okay, no problem. Let's 10x it. How long do you think you want? What's your time frame? Well, maybe 5 years. Okay, so I said, okay, let's just go ahead and maybe see what we can do in a year. And we worked for that year, and we literally created her vision of why she wanted it. So she wanted a family, she wanted to have time, she wanted to have employees that she can give to, and then she wanted to sell the business, right? So now we're focusing on that. And within 3 months, she already had the partner. Within the next few weeks after those 3 months, it went really quick. She had the business partner, and she started to go to America and South Africa, different countries. And that end of the year, she made 50 million. Yeah. But she wasn't focusing, I want 50 million. She was focusing on what she wanted with that money.
Yes,
So
100%. Is that because it
first,
creates a more emotional excitement at the end of the day?
yeah. Number one, if you're aligned with your higher self, with your purpose in life, all the doors open for you, because we are designed by this infinite intelligence to function well, right? So if we're going out of function where we're not going into where we want to be, then, we lose energy and we lose momentum. So therefore, if we're on purpose, we're always getting more momentum. That's number one. Number two is, yes, you're engaging your feelings, your thoughts, your actions, and you're already excited. If you're just trying to make more money, you probably feel more in lack. I don't have enough, You're already excited. And then it's important to be tuned into the right actions. What brings me there? My recommendation for you is, find out why you want it. Do what Peter said. Create an affirmation, even a movie. And Peter, I want to know your tool. Create an AI movie that shows you that life already, so you can feel as if you already are there. And then you may need to remove some obstacles energetically. Find a healer that can do that. But really go for that feeling and say, I'm already living that. Nothing gets in the way for me. Nothing. Because I'm already there. You're already feeling it. You're already seeing it. There's nothing in the way right now. And that the universe registers and says, wait a minute, they mean it. They're already there in mind and in heart. Well, that creates literally a pathway through all the obstacles that gets you there in lightning speed.
Yeah, 100%. And what you just said, I know you tickled on it for a second, but that is the most critical reason to get a manifestation coach is when you feel like there is a little block inside of you, because you can do all of the homework you have to do. But for me, I knew I needed to have a coach because I knew that there was some weird feelings that came up when I was starting to think about it. So, and that's the most important thing, because yes, you can imagine the wish fulfilled, but if you have a lot of, I want to say, limiting beliefs that cause you to have a doubt, or cause you to do, because I could be like, oh, I have this much whatever, or I have this kind of life. But then there's like, well, I think I'm afraid of having that much success. So like the little mindset thing that'll help trigger these negative emotions, which kind of block that's why they're blocks, right? That cause you to push yourself away. You have to
Totally,
have someone to
because
help you with that.
subconsciousness lives as 80% of the time. So your
Mhm.
consciousness only lives 20. So 80% of the time, your patterns are living you. If you don't remove the patterns in the subconsciousness, you're going to push forward and you're going to be pulled back like on a rubber band, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's important. hmm And
I
if
would
people
say,
aren't ready for this big coaching, for a big step, I like to help people with their energy, because sometimes we just need to gain energy first, just like, I needed when I was little. And I have a course for that on my website. It's actually super easy to get. And that helps you master your energy and then your manifestation, then your higher self. If you're not ready for, a personal coaching right away.
beautiful. Yeah. We have about 5 minutes left. I just want to dive on a quick little topic, and then we can share some information about your coaching program. The one, if you could think of what is the one, I want to share my idea. I want to share your idea. I want to hear from you. The one most important action somebody could do every single day to help make their life way easier and call in their goals way faster, and make it way more likely you'll achieve them. I would say my thing is, what I prioritize is definitely feeling the wish fulfilled every single day. So I do these walking meditations, the Joe Dispenza style stuff. I also do these audio music. I use this tool called Suno. I talk about my goals in the AI, and then I go, hey, how would Tim McGraw write a country song for my goals, right? And then I plug it into Suno, and it just writes this beautiful AI song for me, which lets me feel it. So I feel the energy, and I hear him saying the dreams in my mind. So I feel great. But that's step one, is always just focusing on that and just radiating more positivity and being just like a positive person to be around. I think that's my thing. What would you say? What activity you could have someone do every day?
I love that. If you're ready to do that, yes, do that. But what you need for that is energy. See how you're doing
Yeah.
all of that with a powerful energy, with your waking up fit, right? You're like excited about your life. That's where it starts. The first thing is you need to master your energy. And just like we shower every day and we clear our energy, we literally clean our bodies. We also need to clean our energy. And if people get bogged down with too much energy from outside and they get dirty and their energy fields get dirty, they can function well. So I think the
Yeah.
most powerful thing before what you said, if you're already there, you have a clean energy field. You work with healers all the time, you clear your field. But if you're there, I love your steps. I tell them to my son. I tell him, do what Peter said. And we're doing that, and he's achieving great things. But master your energy first. And how do you master your energy? You master your energy with your intention and your attention, and you need to know how to fill the energy centers. And I have a meditation that takes 5 minutes to do that. And it's free on my website. It's called 3 Heart Connection Meditation. So I give that away to everyone because I really want the whole world to do that. If you master your energy every day, if you do that every day, literally everything accelerates. I have clients have used this for regular time. And they say, oh, my life is perfect. I have nothing that I'm lacking. I have enough money. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I got the relationship I want. I'm like, what are you doing on a regular basis? And they'll tell me they do this meditation and they do 3 more steps, which is the morning programming and the evening programming. What Peter said, what you do in the morning and what you do in the evening. We have all of that, of course, available. But the most important step is a 3 Heart Connection meditation to master your energy. And you can just get it for free on my website. I'll give you a link, Peter, and we can
Just
use that.
beautiful. Perfect. Yeah, we'll have it below. I definitely, for those who think that the heart stuff is stupid, I'm telling you, the heart is where your electromagnetic field comes from at the end of the day. The heart is the rocket ship that in the mind, your thought in your mind, when you're visualizing you on the boat or whatever with your dream life and your dream wife and your dream kid or whatever, the thought attached with the love in your heart is what rockets it out to the universe. And that's what I call the karmic boomerang that goes out and comes back to you a little bit later on. It begins
Love,
to mold the universe too. Yeah. So you got to get your heart
love it.
dialed in. You got to open up the heart for sure. I just want to be a cheerleader for that because I thought it was stupid for the longest time.
Yeah. And we're connecting to the heart of creation and the heart of the planet. That's why it's called 3 Heart Connection. And therefore, we're literally tapping into the most powerful sources for your physical life, for your inspired life, and for your life, for this life. and we do it quickly.
Perfect. So for anyone who wanted to reach out to you for your coaching, where do they go? What do they do? How do they get a hold of you?
Okay, yeah, this was a spontaneous podcast. So yeah, you could go to my website and there's Higher Self Mastery personal training there, and you actually need to apply because it's a high end training. It's not cheap, and I work with you every day, and we do that over 10 weeks. So if you're interested in that, then I only want you to come if you feel resonance with what I'm saying. If you feel something stirring in you and you feel a call for that, then we're meant to work together. If you're just thinking it's interesting, then I would recommend rather doing my course, getting the meditation for free and doing the course. And that way you can literally master your energy, your manifestation, and you gain access to that guidance that is your higher self. Yeah. And I make that available to a lot of people. That's why we have a course that's more affordable. But for the one-on-one training that you're talking about, Peter, that we did, that's when people feel called to it, because you have something that is beyond your own reach. And if you cannot reach it alone, then I can help you do it. If you can reach it on your own, you don't need me. But if you know you need to go beyond that and you have something to give to the world, you have more that's coming out of you that you really want to share, and you're ready to receive the rewards for that abundantly and multiplied, yes. And you just go to the website, it says personal training, and you apply. You just say, hey, Kim, Peter's workshop, just put that in there. Then I already know, or Peter's podcast, and we'll get in touch with you.
Perfect. Ariya, thank you so much for coming to join. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed meeting my personal manifestation coach. He's been one of my secret weapons for the longest time, but now I'm here to share with you all of you. If you have any goals that are above 6 figures, working with her is a no-brainer. And I can go to the gym on my own too, but that doesn't mean I don't do a better job working with a teammate. Same thing with the 5D energy work world. Always love to have a teammate there.
Thank you so much.
Links
This is
below.
so fun.
Thanks for being here. I'll see you guys on the next one.
Aloha.